I don't want that gosh darn virus. He's got the virus, she's got the virus. I don't want that gosh darn virus. I don't want that gosh darn virus.
What is up, guys? It's Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. Tonight we're going to be talking about the obvious event all around us, and we're going to be talking about what happens next. I'm also going to show you that most of the huge names, CEOs, are all dropping out. Is it because they feel like they don't want to be in the head of a company when everything takes a dump? Or is it something else? We'll let you know right after this.
Virus. He's got the virus, she's got the virus. I don't want that gosh darn virus. He's got the virus, she's got the virus. I don't want that gosh darn virus. He's got the virus, she's got the virus.
All right.
I don't want that gosh darn virus.
All right. What is up, guys? It's Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News, the only live call-in show somewhere. Tonight we're going to be talking about the elites and I guess their positions, different CEOs of different companies, just basically bouncing out. Not only some of the big ones that you probably have already heard of, but we're actually going to point out a whole lot more. On top of that, obviously a lot of people are saying within the next 24 hours this, the next 24 hours that. I'm going to go over those things as well. So if you've never been here before, my name is Adam, aka Marf. I've got 2 YouTube channels as well. Of course, Marfoogle News is the main channel at 153,000 subscribers. And then, of course, the backup channel, the small channel at 109,000 subscribers, Marfoogle TV. You are most likely watching this on Marfoogle TV if it was able to go over there. Again, a lot of things have changed for this event. In fact, they say that YouTube itself is actually not having humans work, so they're letting AI do a lot of the work for them. So we are going to be careful for the next couple of weeks here because they essentially have a banner at the top of our creator studio that says we're basically going to be possibly getting rid of things that aren't supposed to be gotten rid of. So whatever that means, we, of course, will talk about that later as well. So warning to all of you guys, that's going on as well. Just to make sure you guys know, we back up everything we say with an article as far as anything that we show here. If we show you an article, we're actually going to give you the bibliography of it. We've always backed up and given you the source of what we say. So we don't just say something or read a headline and spin off of that. We actually give you the source of it. Now, if you go to our website, marfooglenews.com, you'll have access to all of this. It's very easy to get through. You just look for this thumbnail. The thumbnail might be a little bit different. In fact, it's a hospital ship for YT. And then, of course, you click on proof. All elites are gone. Boom. Again, and then you will see all of the articles. So you can actually follow along on your device or a second device with this and make sure that you can see the whole thing and actually get a chance to read through it and take your time and research. That's the thing. We go over MSM mainstream, but we also then take calls. Again, this is a live call-in show. We never know what's going to happen. And, of course, the number is scrolling down right here. It's 224400MARF. Now, make sure to press option 4 once you get through to there. Now, obviously, a lot of people are very panicked right now. I am telling you guys, this is the last time that we need to be panicked and scared. But I will say, I think that we are all in this together as a family, as human beings. I mean, it's gotten to the point where it's not just, us as Americans or Australians or, Europeans. This is the entire planet. For people that are not taking this seriously enough, understand that the entire planet is shutting down as we speak. They are going to be doing shelter in places, not only here, New York, all of this. Once they hit those big cities, then it will be across the country. Now, we'll go over some of the stuff that's going on. Again, just so you guys know, we're giving you accurate information. We're giving you a list of where to get it. And then, of course, we're going to be taking calls and getting your opinions on that. While we're here, Dex is actually going to be screening calls. He helps produce the show. He has an entire screen to my left that is dedicated to the callers, their information. If they have pictures, videos, information, they can give it to him, and therefore he can actually give it to me so I can show you guys. Dex, are you there, and can we do a quick sound check?
Hello, Adam. I am here, and hello, Foogle fam.
So you've been coughing a lot lately. So we had kind of a joke before. I don't know what I would do without you because I don't know if I would remember any of my passwords if it wasn't for you. So, but either way, I can't lose you, Dex. You're my best friend and my.
I don't have the virus, so I think I'm okay. I just have a little bit of a cough. So let's think positive right now. Everything's good.
Well, you do a lot for this group, and you do a lot for this channel, and you do a lot for me. So I appreciate you, and just don't know
Absolutely,
what
brother.
I would do without you. So
Love you and love the fam, but we got information to get out. We got people to help. So let's make sure we all come together and do that.
Yes. So on top of this, so I'm just want to make sure that we get this out here as well. Nothing in this show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of myself, Dex, or anyone else who helps with the show. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. Now, I'll just get straight into it. The names that are essentially stepping down all within the 2-3 week period are making me nervous. Of course, we have over 13,000 in our Discord and over 400 in our active and retired military group. These are all confirmed by other military members. And then what they are saying is essentially that, 6 states is like nothing compared to where it will be in a couple weeks. Now, of course, France put 100,000 police on the streets to enforce their shelter in place or whatever you want to call it. But the theories of what is going on right now are the really what's crazy about all of this. So we're going to go over that in a second. But first, all of these CEOs, I mean, this really shakes me down to the core, and I'll just be real with you guys. When you guys see this, what goes through your heart, what goes through your brain when you see all of these major CEOs step down? Lockheed Martin, that name is synonymous with half of the stuff that we talk about. It is one of the biggest defense manufacturers. It says here, Lockheed Martin CEO Marilyn Hewson is to step down on June 15th, with board member James Treslett elected to take her place. Hewson has served as the company's chief executive officer and president since 2013, taking on a role of a chair role as well in 2014. Upon stepping down in June, Hewson will become executive chairman of the Lockheed Martin board. Check this out. Bill Gates, of course, a couple days ago, is leaving the boards of Microsoft and Berkshire Hathaway. Here are the most top notable executive departures of 2020. Now, remember, we've been talking about all of the different ones just in the last couple weeks, all of the announced stepping downs, and some of them, actually most of them, are unexpected. Of course, you've got Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates. You have Mindy Ginsburg, the CEO of the company that oversees Tinder, Hinge, OkCupid, and Match, announced January 28th that she's stepping down after 14 years. Disney said on January 31st that Hulu CEO Randy Freer would be departing. So again, this is Hulu is, of course, owned by these guys. The Hulu CEO, Randy Freer, would be departing with no direct replacement. What? With no direct replacement? And company leaders reporting to Disney's Kevin Mayer in late February. Hulu's chief marketing officer, Kelly Campbell, was promoted to president of Hulu. Then you have Adam Bierman, CEO and co-founder of the cannabis company MedMan, stepped down on February 1st after a steep decline. You have Terry Booth, the CEO of Aurora Cannabis, announced he was stepping down, retiring. These are huge companies. And then you've got Tidjane Thiam, CEO of Credit Suisse. Now, of course, resigned on February 6th after the company got stalking a former employee. And again, there's all these different stories that go with it, right? All in the last couple weeks. Les Wexner, CEO of L Brands, a retail company that includes Victoria's Secret and Bath and Body Works, stepped down February 20th. Tyler Haney, founder and CEO of the clothing brand Outdoor Voices, stepped down February 21st following a tough year. Fastly CEO Arthur Bergman said on February 22nd he would leave the position less than a year after the internet infrastructure company went public. And then, of course, Keith Block, co-CEO of Salesforce, left the position on February 25th, which surprised industry watchers who thought Block might eventually take over from founder Mark Benioff as sole CEO. Bob Iger, this is a big one. Bob Iger, CEO of Disney, stepped down on February 25th. He had held the role since 2005 and renewed his contract in 2017. Again, he was not planned on doing anything for at least another year. All of a sudden stepped down. Harley Davidson CEO Matt Levitch resigned on February 28th following years of decreasing demand for... See how they attach some sort of excuse, right?
They have to have an excuse.
Harley Davidson and all of the Harley Davidson, Hulu, which by the way, so Disney CEO, he steps down unexpectedly and a year before he was even thinking about it. And then Hulu, owned by Disney, steps down with no direct replacement. What the hell is going on here? And then it says, and then Harley Davidson, you got to see who would be at the parties, right? Oh, this is the CEO of Harley Davidson. Everybody, even the elites, he's the CEO of Harley Davidson because, every 50-year-old man buys one when they go through midlife crisis, right? Ginny Rometty, CEO of IBM, is departing in April after 8 years of leading the company through difficult transition period. And this one is a huge one. Although it is announced in 2019, T-Mobile's CEO John Legere is scheduled to step down in May of 2020. During his 7-year run, T-Mobile's share price increased from $12 to nearly $80. LinkedIn CEO Jeff Weiner is stepping down in June after 11 years of running the company. MasterCard CEO Ajay Banga is set to step down in early 2021 after more than a decade, which, by the way, the other sources say that he is actually leaving within the next few weeks. So this is actually a new one for me. Now, with all of these gigantic companies having their CEOs leave, there's a couple things. Obviously, you could say one thing that the economy, they see, maybe they don't want to go out right when the economy takes a total dive. And, like you said, Dex, you've been in the corporate structure before, and you've been pretty high up there. You would say that kind of makes sense, right?
Sure, it can make sense, and you can, every one of these has an excuse as to why they're leaving, and you can put you can certainly put a lens on there that says, hey, when we're moving into a down economy, when you're looking at every one of these companies taking a major hit, the leader at the helm was a leader for growth or a leader for a certain type of thing, and now they need a different type of leader because they're going to be going through all this turmoil and stuff, so they want somebody different. But there's probably a little bit more than just that going on here. We just reported about how many people are taking off to their bunkers and things like that. So start putting two and two together, right?
Okay. And in the super rich, they're getting their own teams. And we're just stating what is actually being, and this is the thing. There are smaller organizations that report these things, like they're private companies that have basically doctors for hire, this kind of thing for the elite, the rich. They're the ones reporting this. The companies that actually, they specialize in treating the rich and the famous to private services, so they don't have to go into a clinic with a bunch of people when they break their arm. If you think about it, when you were in the super rich, You don't go into the ER. You can. But mind you, the super uber rich, they don't go into a general ER with general doctors. They go to the best doctors in the world, even if they break their pinky, because they have that luxury. And now, we told you that all of these companies are essentially have nobody to dispatch anymore because they are actually getting paid super amounts of money to basically lease out their doctors on a semi-permanent basis. So they're taking their doctors and they're taking these private doctors, private nurses, whole little teams with them on their private jets to islands, to bunkers, to wherever. Now, you may say, oh, that's fear-mongering or whatever. I'm just telling you, that's what they're doing. So obviously they're scared. And again, that's not saying you should be that way. Maybe they're making stupid, irrational decisions. But that's what's going on right now. Because there's theories, right? There's theories. There's theories that if this all happens, and now that we're here and the entire planet is shut down, no businesses are running, the market has now closed down, then something big has to happen. This has never happened in our lifetimes. All the businesses are shut down, including the market. The market is not shut down. I should say they are only doing online trading now. So they've actually physically closed their doors to people trading on the floor of the free market. Absolutely insane. So as far as all of the CEOs doing, maybe they all, maybe they don't have any inside knowledge. Maybe they just want to protect their money. I did hear somebody make a really great point earlier that when these big dogs take out their money out of the banks, that is actually what, they say, oh, all of us taking our little money out. Just so you know, the 1% is called the 1% for a reason. Even if all of the lower wage or middle class or lower class, even if we take all of our money out, that is not where the majority is with these big dogs. They are the 1% because 1% owns 99% of the wealth in the freaking world. So when the big dogs take their money out, that's when all of a sudden the banks don't have money to give back out. All of a sudden they don't have the money because they've got all these things going on the side. So obviously a lot of people have been talking about the different limits that have been placed on different banks. Some people went in to get $10,000 and they said, no, you can only get $1,500 out right now. We're going to put you on a list. You come back Friday. That's happened to several people and it actually went, all over on Twitter. And then some people were saying, well, yeah, because they don't want the economy to crash and you're crashing it by taking your money out. And everybody is thinking the same way. This is when the kind of cancel culture / bandwagon culture really backfires, is that everybody thinks that they're being the smartest when everybody is having the same exact idea. The panic buying, all of this stuff, it's global. We're all humans. It doesn't matter what culture we come from. We're all doing the same crap. The panic buying is essentially taking from everybody else. Nobody else can get their food because you just bought 80 bottles of isopropyl alcohol you'll never use. Or you bought 4,000 rolls of toilet paper just to, have toilet paper for the rest of your life. Or maybe you're starting the prices right, in your neighborhood. Because who knows what will happen to entertainment. I don't know, but I do know this. This does shake me to my core. I do this show, I do the news, I talk about this stuff. But, some people ask, how is this actually happening? Like you running the show and you with your personal life as everything happens around you. We were in one of the first hot zones. We were one of the first states that were affected. I'll just tell you, it is scary. And my goal is not to make people afraid. It's to say, as far as what's going on, we need to understand there's a lot of different things that are going on here. And I see some alternate things going on, and it really does make me nervous. It says, what's happening? Inmates seek release. Wars weaken defense. Now, it says the number of people infected worldwide surpassed the 200,000 mark The perished topped 8,000, but the number of people considered recovered reached 82,000, according to a tally kept by Johns Hopkins University. The countries with the most confirmed cases were China, Italy, Iran, Spain, and Germany. The countries with the most confirmed perished were China, Italy, Iran, Spain, and France. So it says governments grappled with how to implement border closures and lockdowns that caused transportation chaos and imperiled economies, but which authorities said why are needed to slow the spread of the virus. European Union leaders agreed to shut down the bloc's external borders and ban entry of most foreigners for 30 days. The United States and Canada were working on a mutual ban of non-essential travel between the two countries. So you can't even go to Canada now. They're closing the border to that. What I thought was funny is I talked to somebody, a management person from, basically kind of a management firm, and he was in Mexico City. And he said, he goes, no, not that I know of. So we're not closing the border to Mexico, but we are closing it to Canada. Or at least, is that right, Dex? I mean,
yes, that is correct. I think there's more obvious cases in Canada, and the president and the prime minister met, and they decided, hey, it's probably better if we just go ahead and close it so we can both deal with
what's going on in Mexico?
Issues.
Don't they have millions of visitors a year or something?
They do, and I think to be honest, you just read a list of countries, and it sort of reads the list of like 1 through 5, right? And every other country is going to stack up behind those lists, and they're all going to be hit and go through the exact same wave. And what happened in China happened in Italy. What happened in Italy is going to happen in Spain, and then Germany eventually, and the UK and the US. So, it's just that some of these other countries, especially South America and Mexico, are a little late to the game. They will be late to the game. They also benefit from a warmer climate, so we don't know how much that plays into it. But yeah, I think it's not there yet, but it will be.
Yeah, well, I also wondered, places like Hawaii, they're, obviously they're warm. I just don't I don't understand all of these elites, all of these, and then oh my gosh, so my buddy who owns a bunker company said that it's just absolutely insane. And we know that survival companies and things like this are doing very well right now, but on the other hand, bunker companies, they're getting pulled off, like their entire companies are actually getting pulled aside by the uber rich. The ones that basically said so something got triggered right now where even some of the lower tier, upper tier, they're like saying, okay, we need a plan. And I think it's mostly fear-based. But some of these are in the uber rich. I couldn't believe it, like princes and things like this. So maybe uber rich that are somehow outside of the loop, aren't invited to some of these meetings. I don't know. As far as this, I would like for you guys to read the rest of this article. You'll see some very interesting stuff. But again, with the prison inmates seek compassionate release. America's nearly 7,000 jails, prisons, and correctional facilities are in an ideal breeding ground for the CV, as dangerous as nursing homes and cruise ships, but far less sanitary. That has prompted some inmates to plead for compassionate release or home detention. Among them are President DT's former personal attorney, Ponzi schemer, that's what they said, Bernard Madoff, the former head of the Cali drug cartel, and dozens of inmates at New York City's Rikers Island, part of a jail system that lost an employee to the virus this week. So, one thing, we do have a family member in one of the county jails. Every family has kind of one of their black sheep kind of folks. Love this person, but they are in a county jail. They said they did not hear about this. They actually did not know about this because they've been in since before this happened. And I was really surprised to hear that. Apparently they don't watch the news. I guess they've heard of it, but did not know about how bad it truly is. I mean, the planet is shutting down, and they did not know this in regular jail, which I thought was weird too. I guess this person said that she does not have, she's had the same roommate for a long time. But I thought, county jails have people going in and out, in and out, in and out. I'm thinking, man, that would be the last place I would want to be right now if, this was all what they say it is. So
they've also, if I remember correctly, Los Angeles and Ohio has already taken steps to release people from jail and prison in accordance with this. So it's already starting to happen. And then the other thing is talking about people that didn't know. Just a little side note: I think it was the cast of Big Brother had been in isolation for 8 weeks filming, and of course, when they're doing that, they have no cell phone, no news, no nothing. And they just finally told the cast today. So imagine you've been like out of touch for 8 weeks, and you've been told there's a pandemic.
Oh my gosh! And so is Big Brother? I guess I used to watch it when I was in a house, and they were watching all of them. Is Big Brother now like out in a wilderness, like Survivor or something?
Yeah, I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it was Big Brother. My wife was telling me about it, but yeah, one of those reality shows.
Or Naked and Afraid or something.
You're disconnected. They don't let you talk outside because they're filming everything real. So
wow, that's
8
crazy.
weeks later, oh, by the way, the world's got a pandemic. Go home.
Well, I will say this: it's absolutely getting nuts out here. On another note, though, if you guys, so I see a lot of things happening with this. As far as this, even if you do not go through us, I highly recommend getting an EMP shield. Even if you have to go through a different creator, if you have to go around us to get one of these, I would highly recommend doing this. Here's the thing. So everybody's worried about food. Everybody's worried about supplies and things like this. We are actually worried about, garbage men actually going and continuing their route. Think about this. What about the power companies if they have issues and all of a sudden it's not about, the companies saying go home. They'll probably keep that kind of infrastructure stuff running. It's about people not showing up to work. My wife's father works for one of the distributors for food, and they're going to be working through this entire thing. Because they distribute food to the hospitals, all these different places. Think about it. He said half of the workforce isn't there. It's not because they're getting fired. They're actually saying, I don't want to go to work. I don't want to go drop stuff off at hospitals. So they're just not showing up. The more that they make this worse, the more people are going to be like, I don't even want to work. I don't care if I lose the job. So as far as this would, if you were an enemy of this country, it would be really crappy if they took advantage of this timing. I don't know what's going to happen, and I sure as heck hope this doesn't happen, but remember all of the warnings and all of the different things that the DHS actually said over the last year. They said 6 months to a year of food. They actually made that suggestion directly to the president. He signed an order to actually vamp up our grid because it was extremely vulnerable. Remember, they said if that happens, 90% of us would perish because we wouldn't be able to find water, and that would actually water, main key right there. So again, even if you have to go around us, go search them in an incognito window and get them. This company is absolutely amazing. You do save with us if you actually go through our link. Obviously, it doesn't cost you anything. You actually save per device, and it blocks against E1, E2, and E3. So make sure to check it out. It's 100% American made, veteran owned, and it is actually used by the DoD, Homeland Security, and it is officially part of the DEMSO team. But another thing too, the contest is still running. Who knows? When do they actually draw the names? Do we know? I know that this isn't going on for much longer.
Generally speaking, it's for the month of March, so sometime after the end of the month.
So if you go to marfooglenews.com/contest, you can actually choose 3 different devices if you win. They're choosing 3 winners, 3 devices, multiple ways to enter, including daily bonus entries. Go to marfooglenews.com/contest. But I have to say, please make sure that you are set up for everything right now. We have no idea which direction any of this is going to go. That's all I'm going to say. And then Discord, just want to get this out of there. please get in your state group and talk to your fellow neighbors. This is a time that now even the most like hardcore groups that normally meet all the time, they are voluntarily saying, oh, let's not meet right now. This is a time that we should all have a contingency plan. We should all be planning with each other, planning with your family or extended family or people you consider family, large families. And you guys should be, just prepared for anything. Find your local state group, Creators Corner. If you have more than 100 subs and 20 plus vids, you can get in there and exchange information with a ton of creators. Go to marfooglenews.com. That's also where we send out our alerts. Make sure to get our alerts. Dow wipes out gains under T-Man's presidency. Still slightly positive since his election. Now, can you hit this, Dex, real quick?
It's just a continuation after continuation of the market, taking a dip and coming back just a hair and then taking yet another dip. So it's been on the down. So basically everything that the market has done since T-Man became president, which was a really great run, everything was good and strong, it's basically all been erased. Now, on one hand, you could easily think that if this epidemic is gone in the next couple months, we'll be back to business as normal, and then there's going to be a huge boom because it's all going to come back. Just a matter, the people in the market are really speculating long term, and it's what is it they're thinking. And when they get nervous, they pull their money out, and when they pull their money out, prices go down, market goes down. So I found a chart somewhere that showed how this compared to others like Black Friday, like the Depression, the .com bust, and actually we haven't lost that much. We're just a little bit compared to all of those other big drops in the market, but they were across like multiple years, like 8-9 years. So we're only 3 months in.
And that's what we're saying. Everyone here is praying that this does not turn into the doomsday scenario. We are all praying, and I know that a lot of my audience, either you're praying or sending positive vibes, no matter what you're doing. I know that we are all deep down hoping that this will be good. But I also think, on the other hand, a lot of us deep down kind of knew something big was coming. And a lot of the theories almost sound more logical than what's really going on. It's just really, really crazy stuff. But again, people shouldn't panic. We need to be logical right now. We need to make sure that we take care of ourselves. I also tweeted out too, be fit, stay fit, stay healthy. Even if you are, being at home, exercise. You need to stay strong right now, physically and mentally. U.S. plan anticipates 18-month pandemic and widespread shortages. This is the 100-page federal plan laid out a grim prognosis and outlined a response that would activate agencies across the government. A federal government plan to combat the CV warned policymakers last week that a pandemic will last 18 months or longer and could include, quote, multiple waves, resulting in widespread shortages that would strain consumers in nation's healthcare system. So maybe this word is why people are saying, oh, it's not that bad. Maybe they know something that, hasn't been public yet. I don't know. Maybe it's how the thing is made up of. Maybe it's made up of something that loops back around. We've had some calls, and it's pretty crazy. If you guys remember that gentleman who called in, his wife was the infectious disease nurse. The 100-page plan, dated Friday, the same day President DT declared a national emergency, laid out a grim prognosis. It says, among the additional key federal decisions listed among the options for the president was invoking the Defense Production Act of 1950. Remember, we said this. We said, and I called it because I knew once the first politician said it, which was Jay Inslee, says we will need to enact what we did in World Conflict 2 and actually get this going. And that's exactly what happened. If you look back in my Twitter, week and a half, now 13 days or something like that, I said it in multiple times. I said they're going to mobilize the supply chains. And that's what's happening. This isn't a bad thing necessarily. That's what they did in the second conflict. So now they are making fun of the president because he's saying he's a wartime president. Technically, now we're like at war with this event. Other people called that too, like 2 weeks ago. Shortages of products may occur, impacting healthcare, emergency services, and other elements of critical infrastructure, the plan warned. This includes potentially critical shortages of diagnostics, medical supplies, including PPE and pharmaceuticals, and staffing in some locations. PPE refers to personal protective equipment. Says the plan continued, state and local governments, as well as critical infrastructure and communications channels, will be stressed and potentially less reliable. I want you guys to look at that really carefully. Once the full-on everything hits, once they've gotten all the places, boom, the whole Triton comes down. I want you to listen to this very carefully and remember that this is a line of communication. State and local governments, as well as infrastructure and communication channels, will be stressed and potentially less reliable. These stresses may also increase the challenges of getting updated messages and coordinating guidance to these jurisdictions directly. That statement right there is so scary to me. Getting updated messages. What do you think that statement is talking about, Dex?
Oh, come on. To me, that all day long, when I read that, I think about the internet.
Not only that, coordinating guidance to these jurisdictions directly. I mean, we're talking about communications in general. So,
yeah, this is a big deal. I mean, if this is what they're preparing for and they're thinking from just this pandemic that this is what's going to happen, we really need to.
What happens if the power goes out?
Pay attention. Yeah, I mean, communication. How are you going to communicate with your family? How are you going to arrange for any of your plans? Make sure you've got backups. Make sure you know how you're going to do that. If you got family nearby, make sure you got two-way radios that reach the distance, or get ham radio, right?
You guys remember everything that's happened over the last 2 years. I'm absolutely hoping for all the best. It's just like it seems like there's just a lot going on. California.
At CBS News, our mission is to
Sorry about that. Did not want that. Just that little clip could get us dinged. California preparing for worst case scenarios. Sorry about that if I startled any of you. Just start randomly screaming, California preparing! Ah! Sorry about that. Sacramento, California. It's likely few, if any, California schools will reopen before summer break. Governor Gavin Newsom said Tuesday as he provided a stark assessment of the implications from the spreading CV that threatens to overwhelm the state's hospital and drain its spending reserves. So I just want to go right back to that last one again. By the way, infrastructure. If the infrastructure that is still approved, no matter what kind of shelter in place is going on. The people that work in the food industry, hospital industry, those are going to keep going, right? If the food industry is now, people aren't showing up to drive the trucks, if that continues to dwindle, think about, wouldn't the same thing happen for the power industry or for the water industry or for any of these other things? So people think, oh, if this happens, then it won't affect the power. Yes, it could. It could affect the water. So yes, buying water at first sounded kind of, dippy. But for whatever reason, they are treating this as it's thousands times worse than what the numbers are now. So either they have more information that we are not, allowed to see yet, or something else. Either way.
And Adam, Gavin Newsom, later on in this article, he's quoted, and obviously the author didn't make this front and center, but it's a very important quote from the governor of California. If you want to scroll down, I highlighted it for you.
But Newsom grimly added that, quote, "We have the ability to do martial law if we feel the necessity." Just let that soak in. That's California. There are so many different things that are going on at once. So we all need to understand this. I know a lot of you guys are from California as well. We've got a bunch of people here. Thank you guys for showing up. Kevin Dillinger, Angel Lady, Silent Sentry, Susan Rock, Proud Grandma. What is going on? Thank you guys. Appreciate you guys showing up tonight. It is, to be honest, I don't know how many more shows I don't know when, it's kind of like going until the lights turn off. Not saying that, but I'm saying I don't think the internet is going to work well when everybody is at home. When we actually officially get shelter in place first, I don't know if I'll even be able to do so just to give you an example, I have gigabit speeds because to run this show, and usually I get like 500, 600 megabytes per second. It was down to 4 megabytes per second last night. After the show, I just couldn't believe it. I mean, it was nothing. And I know it's because everybody is on their computers. Susan E., Carrie Ray, we've got tons of people here. TBG host, they are trying to divide us. Defy them, do your part. Shane 87, it's going to happen 1,000%. Kelly 2334, what is going on? Thank you so much for being here. What the heck, says Kelly. Jason 49, be ready, make plans, stay calm. That's absolutely correct. My God, that is my state, says Melsara, California. Yeah. Nobody is in the building. I need to check on the requirements for ham radio license. That is an amazing idea. But just so you know, California also, weren't they trying to get rid of the repeater towers for ham radios? I don't know if that happened. I know they were trying to get rid of them, which means you would not be able to go farther than the repeater towers. Or basically, it would shorten the range greatly. When that was our main thing, if everything went down, you have a ham radio. Jen B. Cox, yeah, we're effed in Cali. Cole Cracker, what's going on? Says no problem. Love the sax. I love Beagles. Queen Fisher RN, thank you guys for supporting. Paulie Hunter. Maya77 says, pray, do the action, do your best. Keep the faith, and Yeshua shall sow the rest. Richard G., thank you so much. Other RTs here. How are your hospitals on vents? Huh. Yeah, and a lot of people have been talking about that, about the system that blows everything around. Vibron, Minnesota Man 44, thank you. Lisa Curry, JF, Chris JF. What is going on? Thank you. Accelerate Sean, it looks like you're That's awesome. You've got a 3-month, it looks like. The big medical ships coming are because the hospitals are only for the virus. It says break a leg, go to ship. So, okay, you're talking about this, and we're going to get to that in a second. So the hospital ships are supposedly not for the virus. They're saying that the regular hospitals are all for the virus, and that the hospital ships, you will go if you have a regular thing. Because
that's correct.
Isn't that nuts?
So yeah, it is. Now, these things are awesome. There's like 1,000 patient rooms in it, 7 operating rooms, a complete radiology section. I mean, it is the pride and joy of the Navy. They have 2 of them, right? I think maybe even more, but I know I've seen 2. And yeah, that's the point. They're gonna dock them out, and they're gonna try to keep them clean. So if you've got something that's non-CV related, it'll go there.
And we're going to show you the hospital ship here in a minute. These things are just gigantic. It's like a hospital cruise ship of sorts. Just absolutely crazy. So if you break your arm, you're going to go there instead. Great point. Accelerate Sean. Stormy7572, thank you so much. Carrie Ray, thank you so much. I can't say enough. Pazza, thank you, being #1 contributor to this stream. Joanne Gale Jetson, thank you for your support. Kelly2334 and Zippy Moons and Lady Green Eyes, thank you guys for all coming out. I don't know how many more shows we're going to have. Pat Leading Fox, Carol Palmer, Minnie 70, Sweet Melissa, and April Osborne. I'm going to go until I can't. So gas prices could hit 99 cents in some states due to CV and supplies. So what's happening with the price? Obviously, in chat every night, people have been talking about in their state. They've been saying, "Oh, it's only this much here." I heard $1.84 somewhere. I don't think, maybe it was $2.84. It can't be $1.84. That can't be right. I don't know.
Yeah, it is getting low. Yeah, it was below $2. It was at $2 or getting below there near me. Yeah.
So people act like that's a good thing. That's not exactly a good thing. If that's doing bad, then we might be in trouble here. Gas prices have been trending sharply downward for the past few weeks, but could go much lower, according to GasBuddy.com. GasBuddy analyst Patrick DeHaan said on Monday that the national average could soon hit $1.99, with $1.49 on the horizon, and some stations potentially pricing a gallon of regular as low as 99 cents. So what is the funniest thing about this is, even if it's 99 cents a gallon, you fill your tank for $13 or whatever, you're not going to be able to go anywhere. The irony. You're literally not going to be able to go anywhere. We're going to have the cheapest gas in the world, and you're not going to be able to go anywhere. Isn't that just like a big kick in the...
Supply and demand, right?
Yeah. Texas man arrested after he lied in social media post about testing positive for CV. Wow. I actually I thought of like some of these things, like what if somebody said they had it? It says, and yeah, I knew it too. It says a Texas man has been arrested after he lied about having CV in a social media post. Whoa. Michael Lane Brandon, 23 years old, said in a Facebook post that he tested positive at Tyler County Hospital on Friday. The post now appears to be removed, of course. It says in a comment on the post, Brandon advised that he was informed by medical professionals in Tyler County that the virus had become airborne, police said in a statement. It caused panic on phone lines for both the hospital and authorities. Multiple people contacted the Tyler County Sheriff's Office about the claim someone in their county had been stricken with the contagious illness. It said it was the CVPdemic reached new heights last week, and states started moving to close down public places as the number of infections and related deaths rapidly increased across the country. Police got in touch with the man who lives in Woodville, East Texas on Tuesday. After County Judge Jacques Blanchette issued an arrest warrant, Brandon turned himself in to police later that day. He was jailed on $1,000 bond. So he received a misdemeanor charge, but he actually did have to get arrested and go in. So that is a serious thing. Obviously, a lot of people in that city were freaking out because they didn't have any. And then, of course, him doing that like a jackass did not go over too well. So obviously, you don't want to fake like you're a positive. Can the CV spread through the mail? Reports of postal workers testing positive for the CV have raised concerns that the pathogen could live on letters and packages, potentially exposing more people to the infection just from opening their mail or Amazon packages. Now, that actually happened here. In fact, I don't know if it will probably say this. I'll probably bring up my local. No, it did. Did it? Just wondering if there was a Seattle gentleman right when this started. People were starting to panic about the gentleman was in a mail position, right? I actually tweeted, I said a mailman got it. I actually corrected it a couple hours later and said it was actually a package handler. Now, if they say that it lives on surfaces for up to 9 days, then that's still a big deal. The gentleman organized and sent packages off to many different places. So it's no surprise if that is true, then that's very bad. One lucky thing here, though, is I believe most of those package handlers actually wear gloves anyways for their own safety because they don't know what's on those packages. And cardboard dries out your hands. There is currently no evidence that CV can spread through the mail. What? The Postal Service said last weekend. Okay. What I don't understand is that kind of dumb statement, though, right? Can't it? I mean, if it's on a surface, I mean, is paper not a surface?
You can reread that statement if you want. You can say there's currently no evidence that it doesn't go through, right? You can do it both ways. They're just trying to make sure everybody's not afraid to send a mail because they need the mail to keep running.
There is currently no evidence that CV can spread through the mail. I guess there's no evidence that it can't, right? That's
yep.
I just think, especially when you take a letter, right? You even see that little plastic thing. Somebody holds that, hands it off to you. I mean, if this is a real, if this is the thing, then of course couldn't it go on a package? You're going to say it lasts 9 days and then say, but mail is immune. Doesn't really make sense. These are
in a package, right? I mean, what if it's in somebody hand writes you a letter, right? They've been breathing on it, touching it, holding it, fold it up, stick it in an envelope, mails it to you. It's there the next day because it's nearby.
Yeah, or somebody sneezes.
Is that paper still have the germs on it or not?
Yeah, that's a good question. And as far as like sneezing into a box or something on your product, or say it's a box that they're shipping or closing up, I don't know. It just seems, I guess people don't know. If you go to the Science Center in Seattle, there was this whole grossology kind of exhibit, and they talked about how a sneeze, how it goes at 160 miles an hour or whatever else. But they also talked about how when you breathe, they even talked about stuff like, farting and things like this, that it's actual particles that go all over the place. So think about that. I don't know. It's pretty crazy. If you are missing notifications for our show, you need to get over to marfooglenews.com. There's an actual notification box that pops up or a bell. In fact, the website notifications are now available, so you don't have to depend on somebody else or a platform. Works with most all browsers and Android. iOS is coming soon. Look for the prompt or click the bell in the bottom right-hand corner. That's again at marfooglenews.com. T-Man invokes wartime authority to Defense Production Act to address the CV crisis. It says that he confirmed he plans to invoke a provision that would allow him to prohibit certain people from entering the country, including asylum seekers and those entering the country illegally at the southern border. The answer is yes. T-Man told reporters when asked about the code, adding that he plans to invoke it very soon, probably today. It says the administration will invoke 42 U.S. 265, a section of the federal legal code that states the U.S. Surgeon General shall have the power to prohibit in whole or in part the introduction of persons or property from such countries or places as she shall designate in order to avert such danger and such period of time as he may deem necessary for such purpose. So that is pretty crazy, but this also does other things as well. And again, somebody says, people talk about the Stafford Act. This Stafford Act has already been enacted. Isn't there different parts or something, or is that why people are confused? Or
well, yeah, that's what happened when he declared a national emergency. But this whole notion about the W word there, the conflict word, he used in his speech today. He went back to WW2, and he was trying to draw parallels to how we as a nation had came together during that time. We put out so many ships. Our manufacturing was just going through the roof because we had one mission, and that was to win that conflict, right? And people were sleeping on the factory room floors because it was just the mission to get all of this stuff built, get all this military gear out, and go win the conflict. So he was trying to draw. It was interesting that he was drawing that correlation to today, saying, hey, this is like that, except it's different. It's an invisible enemy, but we need to come together as a nation, and we need to, have that same passion we had back for the WW2 conflict.
yeah, as far as, we kind of called a lot of the stuff here over the last month, but a lot of people were also saying that some of the things that are invoking are going to be a good thing. As far as a lot of this, is there positives that come out of it too? I sure as heck hope so. Let me see here. I'm going to put something together here. Let me see. Okay, I just wanted to pull up something so I don't miss you guys. Oh. Bam, bam. Thank you, Kelly2334, Delphina. Thank you for subscribing for 1 month. Alyssa C, 1977, P, Tree 8088. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. And M Menching, thank you for gifting subs out to people. Robin R says, T-Man is an actor. There's tons of different debates on who he thinks. I know that there's people above him. That's the only thing that worries me. There are definitely people way above him. There are the families. Like I tweeted earlier, I said, unless your name's Rothschild, Rockefeller, this and this and that, you don't actually know what the heck is really going on. Shiro509, great idea. Miss Marf is in here. I'm glad. I didn't know if she was going to be able to watch tonight. Our baby is just being off the chain lately because she's got another tooth coming in and not getting too much sleep. On top of all this, I worry for our kids. Do you guys know what I mean? I don't know if you guys have kids. Even if you don't you just worry about the future? When I look at my kids, I just don't know what the heck they're going to be growing up in. I really don't. And I'm really hoping for everything to get better. White House CV plan aims to send $2,000 to many Americans, includes $300 billion for small businesses. It says White House officials are working with congressional Republicans on an emergency stimulus packages that could send two $1,000 checks to many Americans and also devote $300 billion towards helping small businesses avoid mass layoffs, according to two senior administration officials. No final decisions have been made, and talks with Republican leaders remain fluid, but the growing scale of the $1 trillion rescue plan is coming into sharper focus. The White House will still need backing from Democrats before any plan can be pushed into law. But the Democrats have said that they would support sending cash payments to Americans who are struggling to pay bills because of the virus's economic impact. Still, multiple levels of negotiations remain. Here's a thought. There are, the 1% that have all of this money. They can literally live like a rich person off the interest off of 10% of what they have. Now, I know that this is, I'm not saying them give a lot, but if there's an emergency this bad that it's going to end our planet, stop business as we know it, you would think, even if they all gave just a little bit, just a tiny bit, not to the poor people, not Robin Hood, but to some sort of fund, we could easily keep everybody at their job. I mean, think about this. T-Man was talking about how everybody was employed. That's all down the chute now. There's so many people that are going to lose their jobs because of this. And you say, oh no, what if it's over in 3 weeks? It doesn't matter. Because of this, there are permanent layoffs. It's just a fact now. So I just, they have the money. What's crazy is this amount of money is just so insane to us, but there are people that this money is, there's tons and tons of money. It's just hiding up at the 1%ers. Just nuts. It is absolutely nuts. And then spring breakers grind and party on booze cruise despite CV pandemic. Now, I saw your post on Twitter. This one is a little personal to you too, huh? Dex, you've basically you were talking about how Panama is...
Oh, yeah, that's just infuriating. It's a pet peeve of mine. I mean, because I live here, and the Gulf Coast, the Panhandle is pretty much where everybody in my neck of the woods goes. Some people go to Daytona, but a lot of people go to Panama City Beach and Destin and the Gulf Coast there. And the college kids are in it right now. High schoolers, they're probably not going to go just because their parents aren't going to let them go. But the college kids, they think they're invincible. And, and not only that, they save up every dime. And when they put every dime they had to get a condo and they're down there with 4 of their 5 of their friends, they're not going to cancel. And not only that, they're not allowed to. I've checked in on this, and most places are saying, no, you can't cancel. We'll let you come back in December. Well, who wants to go in December, right? These are teenagers. Put yourself back in that mindset. A, you're invincible. B, you're poor, and you scraped every penny together to go to the beach. You're going. And it's so unfortunate that the government didn't come in and say, for the welfare of the people, we're going to close the beaches. I mean, even Disney went so far as to say, hey, we're going to close the park, right?
Well,
we're doing the right
here's
thing.
the big problem is that they're not giving refunds. So even if people are locked down, they're not going to give them a damn refund for what's going on down there.
They had an emergency meeting in Panama City, and the mayor made the decision, we'll just do social distancing at city locations. And then they said, hey, we're only going to have 10 people, allow 10 people to be near each other. But I'm getting live pictures from the balcony right now. There's like a whole group of teenagers, they're not teenagers, young adults. They're like 35, 40, 50 of them all hanging out together in a swimming pool right now. I mean, and all of those people are probably spreading, the CV around because they don't know it, because they don't have the effects. And then they're all going to go home to different locations around America, and they're going to bring it. They're probably going to infect people in those locations because the population in Florida is pretty old. So they're going to have a problem with it, and they're going to come home and bring it to everyone else.
It sounds to me like that's pretty dumb. I mean, that's one of the dumbest things I've heard. And when you tweeted that earlier, or I think it was yesterday or today, I was just thinking, gosh, that is the dumbest thing ever. Especially the fact that they can't get the refund. You're basically stuck doing it. Like you said, they scrounge together. Okay, so DWI-17, save your family, get to Nebraska. Thank you for your support. I guess what's the deal with Nebraska? Is there no cases? Lady GT476, thank you. Serenity PA, thank you. Kelly2334, JJ Hempcrete Bear, and I know who you at, says, I'm partying too, Marf. I'm off 5-year probation. Well, stay good. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. I don't think probation officers are even working. Kelly2334 again, thank you. One Love, Italian Girl, thank you. Kelly, again, thank you so much for your guys' support. Delphina, Shastina, yeah, a Rebel Yell, and Sedevacantist Bear. Thank you. Thank you for following. I appreciate it. And Candy444. So, what do you think about the Spring Breakers? Do you think that they should go in there? Give us a call at 224-400-MARV. Pentagon is preparing Navy hospital ships Mercy Comfort for CV response. The Pentagon is starting the process of activating Navy hospital ships as part of the Defense Department's domestic response to the spreading of CV. It says the ships will now begin the several days-long process of bringing aboard medical staff and equipment ahead of deploying along the west. Okay, this is even creepier. These ships, these gigantic ships, are going to be on the east and the west coast. What the heck is going on? Just saying. They're going to be on the east and west coasts, a defense official confirmed to USNI News on Tuesday afternoon. Two sources told USNI News that the idea was for the ships to provide relief for coastal hospital systems, with the ships taking on non-COVID-19 cases and allowing the hospitals to focus on the most critical patients suffering from the V. The Pentagon also has extensive equipment for erecting field hospitals in addition to the hospital ships, but those with facilities that are optimized for trauma cases with several beds close together. It says, if, for example, a community has a large outbreak and there's a need for an emergency room support or trauma support, a hospital ship is perfectly designed to do that. It's hard to get the hospital ship to St. Louis, but along the coast, it's an option to use. Each ship has 1,000-bed capacity and is manned by military medical personnel, requiring about a week or more to mobilize those personnel from across the active duty and reserve forces. Pentagon officials have stressed that many of the reserve medical personnel that would be called up to staff mobile hospitals or Mercy and Comfort would be partially pulled from civilian medical facilities. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That is nuts. And so they're going to have a lot more military there. M. Menching and Sandra Lee, thank you. Appreciate that. So we're going to have military ships and military hospital ships off of our east and west coast. Man, this is just straight up out of a movie. And again, okay, so there's some other stuff that's going on, and appreciate the timing of this. So just so you guys know, and this is a warning for the Fugel family, people are using this disaster as a way to actually take advantage of people, to hack people, to send them links, all sorts of bad things. In fact, we had a few members in our Discord that just basically had identity fraud, and their whole lives are destroyed now. So I don't want to put them on blast, but the thing is they actually thought they were helping somebody with CV when in reality they were actually getting trolled and they were getting trapped. NordVPN is essentially, it is a virtual private network, but here's another reason for this. The folks that are getting information out of Italy are doing it with VPNs. You guys can look at this. There's a huge thing going on over there, of course. Over in China, all of the information got out of there with a VPN. If the communications or if things get messed up here, VPN is essentially, it puts you somewhere else. Some people use it for crazy dumb reasons, like they want different Netflix movies in different countries. They actually release different videos. But as far as this go, it actually blocks the IP from bad guys. Also, it makes it look, like you're somewhere else. It actually protects up to 6 simultaneous devices. So if you kind of want to ghost or put yourself somewhere else, it can do your phone, your laptop, your tablet, your kids' phones. Again, you actually can do a huge savings if you go through us. If not, go through it anyways. Get this anyways, because we're all going to have to deal with a lot of stuff coming up. Go to marfooglenews.com/VPN. That way will support us. If you want to just do it normally without us, you can do that as well. But again, this doesn't cost you extra, and it saves you extra and helps the channel. I appreciate you guys all supporting us through this. It's a huge, huge thing because it isn't a one-man bandstand, and we appreciate it. 86% of people with the CV are walking around undetected, study says. Now, this is the thing. You know, they say that it's all about fear and this and that. This kind of thing does kind of make you freak out, right? If you have a cough, like Dex has a cough, even though he's like, I don't have it, you did go check your temperature, right? It's just kind of freaky. We don't know if we have it. I'm in the hot zone, and in 30 days from now, perfectly fine, all of a sudden it could kick in. Or at least that's what we're being told, right? So it's pretty freaky. It says stealth CV cases are fueling the pandemic, with a staggering 86% of people infected walking around undetected, a new study says. 6 of every 7 cases, 86%, were not reported in China before travel restrictions were implemented, driving the spread of the virus, according to the study Monday in the journal Science. It's undocumented infections which are driving the spread of the outbreak, said co-author Jeffrey Shaman of Columbia University Mailman School. Says using computer modeling, researchers tracked infections before and after the city of Wuhan travel ban. And it says the findings indicated that those undocumented infections with no or mild symptoms, known as stealth cases, were behind 2/3 of the reported patients. That's no good. No good at all.
Well, and that makes sense, Adam. There are, you think about the percentage of people that don't get just say the regular flu, right? Like I'm one of those people, I never get sick. I have a really good immune system. I mean, I sound like it, I may be coughing now, but it's really just pollen in my opinion, but I never, ever, ever get sick. And so I could easily, I'm presuming I could easily be a carrier and I would never know.
And I think most people by now realize that there's something way, way bigger. I think people are thinking too small, that this is some sort of political thing. This is that. That's thinking really small. All the little countries, all these little places, they're all shutting down. They're all closing the borders. Denmark, Germany, Italy, all these places. Japan, they're all closing down. They're all locking down their countries to decide our election. Sorry, don't see it. And then the other half think that, that there's the whole thing like trust the plan. All I'll say about that is, there were some freaky things in there, like the post that said panic and things like this last year. It was kind of freaky.
I don't think this is what T-Man originally envisioned when he had everybody excited about nationalism and, better controls on borders, right? Because we've definitely gone to that extreme at this point now. We went from that was something we would never do. We had to have free-flowing people everywhere to now everybody's like, yeah. Close it off. Nobody move.
Yeah, it just seems like we're not getting the whole picture here. And then as far as the other way too, they were saying that they wanted martial law so they could do all of these arrests and things. I just want to remind people, it doesn't matter how you paint a picture, that picture is a horrible picture. We don't want to ever see that. No, I don't. And somebody like able-bodied who lived through martial law during Hurricane Katrina, it's just, I don't care how you paint it. It's going to be a dollar store Picasso. So just saying that it's a very horrible situation. A lot of really bad things happen during martial laws. The way that it's set up, the government contractors, the security details, the escorts, everything that goes on there. So I'm not trying to say anything. I just think, there's so many different ways to interpret things. Kind of like the Bible. Somebody could take the same verse and interpret it 10 different ways. That's kind of what I think about the whole Cuth stuff. I mean, I don't think there's any one person. They're all interpreting it different. And I just don't think that at any time martial law is good. But it literally looks like... And I want to try... I want that to be true. I want this to be like some hero plan. That actually makes me feel better, right? It makes us feel better. But I was also thinking, what if last year and 2 years ago, they were putting all this stuff out, and now the very same people that would be up in arms about losing rights are like, no, trust it. Sit back and relax. Watch the show. Grab your popcorn. Just, it seems too perfect, the timing here. I mean, almost creepy. Like it really did predict some stuff in the wrong way. And again, I don't want to start a debate about it. I love you guys, and everybody's welcome here. All right, and then let's see here. You can go to any of the articles that we just showed you there on our website. I'm going to go back to chat, and then we're going to open up the phones. You guys got to get the phones open. The number is 224400-MARF. Let's see.
She's got the virus. I don't want that gosh darn virus. He's got the virus. She's got the virus. I don't want that gosh darn virus.
All right, we've got Earthworm Jim. Thank you, Jamie Lynn. The Riot 72. Jason 78, The Real Select 0024, W West, Gas Electric, Judy M, Chase W, Bajar, Rachel B, Capachow, April Osborne, Watch a Wolf, Jason 49, Crazy Coyote, Channel Jammer, thank you. Gem, I just followed you on Twitter. Thank you for following me over there. CK Freddy, Queen Fisher RN, Sandra Lee, thank you. I appreciate the diamond. Lady GT 476, thank you as well. Joanne Gail Jetson, thank you. And then Pazza, thank you again for being number 1 today. Zippy Moons. Boom. Alrighty, so let's get, we're going to get the first ones on the phone. Let's see here. Wanted to make sure that we had the up next here. Let's get that going. By the way, we never had an issue up until this last week and a half. I get skip frames detected on OBS a whole lot more now. Like a lot. Like probably every 15 minutes we see skipped frames. Never seen that before this week. And that's because I think so many people are on the internet. All right, let's see here. Dex, who do we have up first? Looks like
hey,
Bones.
Adam, we have Bones up first. And if you'd like me to go ahead and
No, that's fine. I got it.
On, or, okay.
Bones, you are live on Marfoogle News. What's going on?
Hey, Marv, how you doing?
Good. It's been a while. So, Bones, I'm glad you called in today. I've got a question. Remind me to ask you before you go. So what's going on tonight?
Okay. Yesterday, I was taking my son to the doctor, and while we were in there, we noticed that we had a first case in Jackson County.
And remind people where that is, though. What state?
Jackson County, Michigan.
Yeah. So, did you guys have in Michigan before that? Was that your first case in the state or just in that county?
No, just in the county.
Now, what is it? What
and
does
then
it
we
look
ended
like
up
there?
going back out to the car because we had something going on with the appointment. So we went back out to the car. When we went to go back in, they were checking people's temperature and stuff.
So, I mean, does this not look like an exact replay of what they were doing over there?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Now, before this started, I want to... You actually reported something. So, Bones drives trucks. You reported something to me that I trust Bones, too, and I trust his judgment. I trust everything that he says. Not to mention, you got pictures and you kind of drove by. You drive by that the place that stores those plastic containers. We'll just call them plastic containers. They're in
Actually,
Georgia.
they make them. They make them there. It was the plastic containers, that the black plastic containers. Well, so I go by there a lot to get product east of there, and when I came back, I noticed that all of those plastic containers were gone, and that the containers, so they're containers that go on the trucks, those were gone as well, and those were right next to that. So.
And when you look at the pictures on satellite and everything else, there's black and then there's orange. Now when you look, there's the non-airtight version sitting in the back of the yard, but there is nothing up front. So they're actually gone now.
Yep.
Which is pretty freaky.
And they had started putting them into closed dry van trailers, so you can't even see them going down the road anymore.
If you guys don't know what we're talking about, make sure to check, look up FEMACOFFINS. That's what people considered them. That's what people thought. I don't know what their official thing was. They say they're liners for those, but
yeah,
they're airtight and they can fit 3, I think. So, anyways, there's a debate about that. Either way, they were there and then they weren't. And that was, how long ago was that? Like a month? That was at the beginning of this.
Probably a month and a half ago. Yep.
Yeah. Well, Bones, is there anything else that you would like to say before you go?
Well, I want to say that everybody that has subscribed to me on YouTube, I haven't been on in a while. It's like I had a snowball effect of some certain things going on that I really haven't been able to have time to do it. But I will be making a video soon about this particular subject too. So,
well,
but yeah.
I would say on your next trip by, can you get video of it the next time you go by?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I would love to show it, and then we will link your channel. Go to Bones on our website, marfooglenews.com, or you can search BONEZ on YouTube, and we'll end up. I'll pull it up before the end of the show. Thank you, Bones, and you have a good night. All right.
Okay.
All right. Have a good night.
Yep. You too. Thank you.
Bye bye. Curry, you are live on Marfoogle News.
Hey, Adam.
Calling from
Fogle
space.
Fam, good evening. Was going to just check in with some news from Nevada from March the 18th. I'm the spokesperson for the Nevada Discord. Want to pay a big shout out for people to join the Discord. We have weekly phone calls comparing notes across the state.
And just so people that have never seen this show before, we do have a Discord with 50 state groups and then organizers that actually meet underneath the Marfoogle Zone. And you are the leader of the
No, I'm not
Nevada.
the leader. I'm just the active spokesperson.
Now, can I ask? There's like some sort of. It sounds like you're riding on a bike with a bicycle can on it. Is that something that's normal?
Yeah, it may be the headset. Sorry about that. I'm doing the best I can. So let's go just quickly through the news. So for the people that are interested in ham radios, if they're up in the Carson City area this Saturday, there will be a ham licensing exam conducted up here. If you're in the area, you're studied up, contact me for more information. You don't have to have a ham license to buy a ham radio, but you should have a license to operate it. So again, if people are interested, they can contact me. I'm part of the Nevada Discord. So for news, ammo and supplies are being rationed in Nevada. We are an open carry state, and now the gun shops are limiting us to 2 boxes per caliber per person. It's the time to prep is over. It is time to hunker down, pull up a chair, and watch the crazy parade go by. Our governor has closed all non-essential businesses and offices. Casinos, DMVs, city, state, and county offices are now closed. If you're interested for a listing of what is essential business and non-essential business, www.kolo.com. That's our local television station. Our sheriff is not conducting any administrative services. If you are waiting to process your CCW paperwork, this is on hold until April 6th at the soonest. Personally, I've had routine dental appointments canceled. They're only taking emergency patients. I've had routine vet appointments for my pets canceled. So know who and where your emergency vets are if you need to get them. TNR, which is trap, neuter, and release, has been suspended. So please, if you have a colony of ferals, be kind, feed them, provide fresh water, and do not separate your baby kittens unless you are absolutely sure that the mama is truly unable to care for the babies. Foster programs for all of our shelters and rescue organizations are suspended. The shelters are already seeing an increased number of surrenders for people who can't handle the animals, and any bottle baby that is surrendered to the shelter will unfortunately be euthanized. Closing tip for the day, our water treatment plants are already seeing an increase in wipes in the pipes. These are not flushable. Please dispose of your wipes in the waste can, because if our sewer plants get clogged, we are going to be into some serious and deep doo-doo.
Literally.
Nevada, signing off.
Thank you so much. Curry. No, it was absolutely
Okay.
great, and thank you so much, and you have a great night.
Good night.
Good night. By the way, that was like one of the coolest calls ever, besides the little wow. That lady,
Wow is
she's
right.
born she's a born leader right there.
That was awesome.
She's signing out, like, that was freaking cool. Curry, you got to call in more often. Only with a
Prepared
better
and
headset.
everything.
That was I was like, man, she's ready for anything. You could tell that lady, like, she was like in between punching bags, like just dodging them, on ganging them. Curry. All right, let's see here. Up next, we have Sarah. I would hate to follow that call. Sarah, you are live on Marfoogle News. What's going on? Sarah, you're live.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep. What's going on?
Hey, Marv. I just got unmuted. Okay. You can hear me. Yay. My first time calling. I'm calling from Jacksonville, Florida. How are you?
Good. So, what's going on down there? It's spring break, right? So, is there?
Man, it's horrible. There's nowhere to go but the beach, and now they're starting to tell people they can't go to the beach because it's like overcrowded on the beaches. I mean, no one knows where to go. I mean, there's nothing to do. All we have is the beach. It's Mother Nature. I mean, what the heck? But I was calling because a while back ago, you had this on your show when it first happened. Remember that Russia lab explosion?
Yes.
Back in, I think it was September.
I don't know why nobody's
I'm just
talking
thinking
about that.
they had so many viruses and stuff in there. They had all kinds of crap that they were testing. So that was September, I think. And who knows what got leaked out into the atmosphere. And, the earth has, all this stuff with the wind and it blows shit around. And, so I was thinking maybe someone stole something, caused the explosion. I know I'm kind of going down that rabbit hole, but that's what we do sometimes. Maybe someone stole something out of there, caused the explosion, and took it over to Wuhan or wherever they brought it to. I don't know. It's kind of creepy if you think about it, from the timing of that into what's going on in China from the time they got affected and what's going on now around the world.
No, if you've watched my show, if you've watched my show, I've talked about, okay, if I can give a little quick timeline, September, right back then, there was the explosion. There was the submarine accident where apparently they stopped a planetary catastrophe. All of the presidents, everybody, that same day, me and Dex were just like bewildered that not many people were talking about this. Mike Pence turned around, his plane got turned around and went back to the White House. For the first time ever, we saw that President T-Man had a totally clear schedule. Russia met with their Ministry of Defense. Britain had the Cobra meeting. All of this happened. Mind you, okay, this is September 17, 2019, explosion at Russian lab known for housing this virus, right? And it's one of two. Yeah. The other one is Atlanta CDC, which, of course, the year before that had the mysterious disappearance of T. Cunningham, which just so happened to also be a whistleblower on all of the stuff that's going on now. And then, of course, you had, trust me, I'm like all on that. And then, of course, Russia doing its separation of its internet, completely basically preparing for its internet to be totally separated. And then January, they have everybody, January 15th, just about a month and a half ago, they have their entire cabinet resign out of nowhere. And then, of course,
this is crazy.
Of course, just a couple days ago, boom, he sets it up. So Putin will be president until 2036.
Jeez. Unbelievable. I mean, I'm surprised, like, a lot of people aren't even talking about this. I mean, your show, but where else are they talking about this? Nowhere. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. How do people not, like, see what's going on here? You know? Pull up old articles from, like, 6 months ago to now. It's all there. That whole timeline is there.
L.A., all the drills.
It's ridiculous.
All the drills, cleaning the helicopters.
Everything.
In hazmat.
Yeah. There's a trail. There's a freaking paper trail on everything. Article trail.
Arizona,
But
Florida.
They say, oh, we're wearing tinfoil hats. We're going down that deep rabbit hole. Oh, whatever. No, our eyes are open. We know what's going on. We ain't stupid.
Well, is there one more thing you want to say before you go?
Thanks so much for taking my call.
Of course. I'm on the same page, by the way. The only thing is, we have to be careful, too. Just saying. Do you remember all the different states? Yeah. Jacksonville was one of them. You guys had helicopters picking people up off of rooftops. I don't think they knew which way it was going to come from. That's what I'm saying. Thank you so much for calling in, okay?
Wow. Thank you. Be safe, everyone. Love you guys. Thank you so much.
Was it an accident? Was it? Question mark. Copyright. Sorry. Oh, whoops. Sorry. All right. Back on track. We've got Monty Ray. Monty Ray, you were live on Marfoogle News.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good. So, Monty Ray, what would you like to talk about tonight?
Well, I'm a long-time listener. I've been listening since you were doing videos out of your car. This is the first time I've called in. I'm calling in from Nevada.
Oh, okay. So you just heard that you had the Nevada representative there from our groups. So what's going on in your world?
I'd like to reach out to her. I'm in Discord, but I haven't joined any group yet.
Shoot. Well, you know, what's cool about this new system is if I would have known earlier, I could have just put you all three on the phone. But she probably would have been like, bang, 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 done, signing out. But anyways, she would have answered your question before you said it. She would have been like, don't talk. It's on the 4th floor. Bang, signing out. And you're like,
yeah, probably. She was on it.
She was on top. All right. So what is your world like right now through this the CV event?
I'm hunkered down at home. My wife and daughter, we live in a tiny little town of 200 people out in Walker Lake, which is like the middle of Nevada.
And is it affecting your job?
Yeah, it has. We have a small little motel that we operate out here, and we're unable to do so with all the changes and what Governor Sisolak has put out.
And what is that? What did Governor Sisolak put out?
Basically all hotels and casinos and restaurants and everything shut down. Nobody's traveling. Nobody's doing anything.
Well, what I don't
Definitely
understand
affected us quite a bit.
is what about the people that actually live in the hotels? Like that's their residence. I know that some people actually do call them their homes. Do you guys, you know what I mean? Extended stay kind of thing?
Right. Well, we're not really an extended stay. I mean, we allow people to do that if they want, but it's not too common, except for people occasionally from like the Army depot that's about 12 miles away.
Now, so are you a manager or do you own a hotel? Is that what you're saying, or?
My wife and I, yeah, we own a small hotel. It's only 12 rooms.
But let me ask you this: how are you even? If you're not renting them out, aren't you losing money? I mean, aren't you? You're probably, even for 12 rooms is a lot. That's a hotel. Are you able to pay your mortgage and things like that, or do you? I guess you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, I mean everything's pretty much on hold right now. Nobody's renting rooms. Nobody's traveling. So everything's kind of on hold, and nobody's supposed to be. Hotels are supposed to be closed.
I guess what's the next step then? Have they told you when it's going to be returned to normal, or?
Everything's supposed to be all hotels and casinos and restaurants and non-essential business, like the previous young lady said that everything's supposed to be closed for the next 30 days at least.
Wow, that is incredible. Now, what is it like on the streets? Are people stopped there yet, or is everything kind of seem normal?
No, it's empty. Usually, you see tons of traffic going down 95, and there's very, very few cars you see going by at all. Really, just the occasional semi.
Let me ask you this: when you saw the images of China with nobody on the freeways, nobody on the streets. When you saw the picture, did you quite believe it? And did you think, oh, that could happen here?
Oh yeah, I believe it.
Because that's what is hitting everybody. Everybody thought, oh, those videos are staged. But then watch, when America, where literally every street is empty, nobody's on the streets. This is a reality, and I think people are it's gonna be. Facing a lot of people that were kind of in denial about it.
Hey, Adam and
yeah, I don't. Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off, sir. I did have a question though for you about your business, because I was just talking with Bank of America yesterday about small businesses, and they were telling me that a lot of businesses are calling in trying to find solutions, and that they were personally working on a solution, but they hadn't announced it yet. I didn't know. Has your own bank or anybody that you work with, had they provided solutions yet, or said that they were doing anything to help yet, or are they just basically hands in the air waiting for something from the Fed?
No, nothing yet. I have reached out to the SBA and different VA resources, but nothing concrete yet.
One thing I
Everything's
thought
kind
of
up in the air.
One thing I thought of too is, what if they came up to you today? Here's a question: what if they came up to you today and said, "Hey, can we house 12 victims of CV?" Would you do it, or would you say hell no?
Well, I mean, definitely precautions would have to be, that would have to take place, and I'd want to isolate my family, of course.
Yeah. Because I know most small hotels, usually the owners or the managers live on site. So, I don't know. That's kind of a scary thing.
Yeah, and we live on site, and I'm sure that's not something my wife would want to do. But, if people are in need, if there was a safe way to do it to, ensure my family wouldn't, be exposed in any way, something I definitely consider.
Yeah. Well, it's just a crazy altogether thing. And if you are one of the hotels, we have the Highway 99 here, same thing. There's a lot of smaller hotels, and I think about the owners of those, and just how that affects everybody. I guess you are a small business technically, and you are directly affected by it, so you might get some help from the government. But as far as is there one more thing that you would like to say before you go?
As much as this, is horrible for everybody and for all businesses, I think, and there was somebody that had said it earlier today, so I'm kind of just repeating what somebody else had said on the news, but I agree with him. Sorry, I don't remember the name, but he basically said, shut down the entire country, all at once, for 30 days instead of shutting it down in phases, because then people just run from that location to another location and it just continues to spread. And, basically just put everything on hold, all bills, all credit cards, mortgages, taxes. I mean, everything on hold, for 30 days, and everybody just hunker down and spend time at home with the family, with the wife and kids, or the, husband and kids, or whatever. And just, prevent the spread. It sucks to, have to stay at home, but if everybody could, for that long period of time, but if everybody didn't have to worry about any bills of any kind, then, I think that would help the economy far better than what's, going on right now, with the Dow going down nearly 3,000 points the other day. And then now what happened today? I mean, if there was no concerns of, having to, pay all your bills across the board, then everybody would have the ability to just stay at home, and the virus wouldn't spread nearly as bad as, as it already is.
Well, no, I agree with you in a sense. That's why I sort of don't understand. But on the same end, if you think about it, just if the U.S. did that and the whole world now works on people traveling back and forth. In fact, our entire culture, entire America, Europe, everywhere, we all make and manufacture. This should be a lesson to everybody. We manufacture all of our stuff in cheaper countries, so we save money. It's capitalist. It's the system, right? You build it for as cheap as possible. You sell it for as much as possible. But now, in a situation like this, it's very hard to stop something. Even if we stop for 30 days, say at day 31, well, Australia or India just started theirs. I get what you're saying, because right now it's this cycle, and we're 3 weeks behind Italy. Italy is 3 weeks after China, and then it's going to go from here to over here and to over here and over here. If the entire world shut down all at the same time, said, hey, stay in and this won't be scary, then it probably would have been better on the market, saying, hey, let's just pause everything. We're pausing market, pausing taxes. We're ordering the government. You don't have to pay rent for 2 weeks, but everything resumes like normal in 30 days, whatever. I get what you're saying. But I think it's so complicated that's why I think almost that something else is going on here. So, well, thank you for your call.
No, I wouldn't be surprised,
I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Monty Ray, and I hope you call in again, all right?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. You guys have a good night.
All right, and good luck with your business, and I'm praying for you and your family. And now you got some extra rooms. You can just hold parties and just hang out.
Yeah, right.
Pretend you're a celebrity and just trash like 6 rooms. No, I'm just kidding. All right, thank you. Let's see here. If you had a place like that, if you owned a hotel, what would you do? I mean, like, that's just nuts. Let's see here. There are just so many things going on all at once. We're going to have to just figure out what we can actually do for this time being. I don't know. It's just, it seems like we're going to have a problem no matter what happens. All right, let's see. Kelly2334, thank you for swinging in there, and thank you for all of your support. Pazza, thank you again. Italian Girl, thank you for coming in. I assume there was a Ninja Genie there somewhere. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. TGB Host, thank you. And then, of course, RRC Podcast, thank you for the diamond. Daniel7777, I really want to thank the mods. I love this group. Kill the Cabal says, be prepared and not scared. I've preached that since day one. My trolls that used to troll me 2 years ago, they're still with me, and they've put the seed of doubt into people's head, and they go, this is fear-mongering, this is the... I hear people say that haven't even watched this damn show for 5 minutes. Never judge somebody on a rumor or something that somebody else says. I think that even D-Live put me in this group of people I don't even associate with. I don't get it. We've never been a risk. We've never gotten in any kind of trouble on any other platform besides an accidental copyright. But you know what I mean? It's just like, come on. Honda A2J 2005, thank you. Let's see here. We've got Nicole Fretschel. Nicole Fretschel. Stefan Diaz, thank you. Kelly2334, Brusty Crumper, and Stefan Diaz again. Daniel777, just pulling out the diamonds. Stefan Diaz again. You guys are going crazy. Susan Rock, Seattle Starla. Thank you guys. Excella Rashawn, Lester Diamond. Bearing is Torex, JC88, thank you guys. Good and Plenty, Lala7777, Peck Anna, thanks Marf and Dex. New Creation in Christ says, God bless us and strengthen us, lead us, thank you. For anyone who just gave a subscription, thank you. That's, of course, how you get the Marfia badge, Fierce Family. Thank you for gifting a 1-month subscription to Judy M. To anybody I missed, I appreciate you. Dex, what do you think is going to be... what do you think is going to happen next? Do you think that we're really going to have a lockdown in the next 24 hours?
Well, Amani made a great point. I really like that idea of just rip the Band-Aid off and do everybody at the same time. But it seems, in my opinion, that we're going to follow suit with the other countries that were in front of us. But there is light at the end of the tunnel, assuming that what we are hearing out of China is that I think they only had one case today in the initial city, I don't want to name the name, that started it, right? So, if all of that's true, there is light at the end of the tunnel. So we just got to get through. We got to weather the storm.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Dex, and thank you to Jem Taylor. Thank you for super chatting last night. Says, love to the mod squad and Marf for the time and the effort you put into the show. Neely Down on YouTube says, I'm hearing rumors they're going to initiate the Stafford Act by this weekend. Of course, that was actually already... they're going to do further pushes on things. Jennifer Cox, thank you, says, stay safe, stay healthy, and God bless. Help where you can. At the same time, remain vigilant. Much love. David Miller says, thank you so much for everything you do, man. Thank you, David, and thank you. Honestly, I'm literally blessed every day to have an audience like you guys. You guys do and have realized how much we do put into this. And we just really appreciate you supporting us. I don't think people realize how much stuff we actually do and how much we put in. those are the trolls. Really, our audience does, and that's why we always have the same numbers. You guys are very loyal to the Foogle family, and it's not me. You're coming here for the group. This is a group thing. This is a viewer-powered content channel, so I appreciate all of you. Junior M, thank you for following. Mr. MJ83 and Aneka, thank you for subscribing, and thank you for following. Arturo Lara, thank you for subscribing. Jason B, JMC, and Lysette Hernandez. There's a lot of new subscribers over on YouTube. I appreciate you guys. And much love to all of you. Jem Taylor, thank you again. Be safe, everyone. X-love to the Foogle family. Susan Donahue, of course. You are absolutely amazing, and you're going to be in every show regardless. Pat Leading Fox, Mini 70, Sweet Melissa, and of course Carol Palmer. You guys are all amazing. All right. Now it's officially time for the shoutro. It's not an outro. It's not a shout-out. It's a shoutro. It's where I say thank you to the most important people here. That's you. And instead of craziness, I'm going to use a looper and say all of your names at once. If you've never been here before, it's not good, so turn it off.
He's got the virus, she's got the virus. I don't want that gosh darn virus. He's got the virus, she's got the virus. I don't want that gosh darn virus. He's got the virus, she's got the virus. I don't want that gosh darn virus.
Thank you. Thank you, Dame AK, May B, and the rest they say. Chicago artist, I appreciate you. I love beagles and the gem and the bone Z with the Z. Got to go with the cloud of 4L and the acceleration on. I'm about to bring back in and know that we are always gonna be gone. Elites are all bouncing now to their super bunkers and wrong. Solution and the Jason 78, thank you for being here. I wanna thank my friends, gotta be back and you gotta go back down, and you know that we've got to be everything that you wanna see. Thank you for the Ninja Geek, Craig Watson 60. Thank you for the hard work and dedication, bringing us the truth. I love the monster, I love the monster, I love the every one of you. Hey, thank you for the summary ecstasy. I appreciate you coming out, being knocking, not number one, babe, on, but it's okay, you're all equal. Kelly 2334, cause I am Italian girl. Craig Watson and a 60. I just wanna say bones with the Cardi Forel and the ring now, and now it never gets sell. Oh, I just wanna bring it down, and I know that we wanna go. Hear the sound, gotta bring it back now. You gotta sing it like you never had it down now. A rusty bumper and the TGB ghost now. A chanted by you and CK Freddy now. And the karma is here with the Uncle Necky. And to bring it right back like it's that stecky. On the seat at a Starlock, cold cracker, J or Pale Horse, vibe on and number 2 pencils. Going to bring it and write down that cozy Ovid. Gonna bring it down with the Sunshine Bee and the Chicago artist Ginger Grimm and that Mr. B, Rebel Yell and the Gem G Van 365 with the RSD. Gotta roll with that Maxi Frog and Jacqueline's and the Sweet Rams and eyes are small, a grimace long. Gotta go sleep like I've never had that sleep in a long time. Gotta get in the zone with the voice of the erased in the zone with the minimals. A minimals of my, I can't even say it, but it's Minnesota, man. I just don't know. I just don't know, just don't know. Kelly 2334, good and plenty. Channel Jammer, Jam, and that lady. Green eyes are the luckiest by far. Oh, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. If the ugly Jew is on, then we will send them over the air. Oh, leave it up. WS and Sunshine B, Lisa 41, Reggie Glenmore. Thank you for going, I know damn no. I bring it down like the April Osborne, Chandler Jammer and the JJJ's gone. Gotta bring it with another tiger. And the clan mama gonna bring it now we Iga. Like Bob Iger, we gonna retire. And if the old Bay 77 gonna go sire. And the Debbie Jordan gonna bring the WS. Just like that east and the hospital ships on the west and the windy one in Niddy. Or maybe it was that one in Din. I can't read it so fast forever. Charlie gonna bring it all now. I'm gonna bring it all the way down. Is that my aunt? I don't know now. Beer toe with that everyone knows. Gotta bring it down like the April Osborne. Deluxe saves in the Hell Yeah Great Show. Gonna bring it back down and now you know. Number 2 pencil 2 sex B. Reading the gospel in Jason 78 yo. Real lost duo in the Jam Serenity DPA and the Lisa Curry. Not my childhood sky, but who cares anyway? The crazy Christian gonna bring it with among his Barky. Rally Bonsky gonna go Susan E. Dragon Girlie gonna see Letitia stolen this way. I'm mediated. Wait, I don't think that was the right effect. Let's change that. Now the Stormy and the Clody for real. Gotta bring it back like I am Pharrell. Enoy B and the Dragon Girly Stewie. That Chowky gal, thank you for being everybody. Now they store all that food in the back of their house and putting toilet paper in that back house. And now we just gotta go lead with the Susan E and the Phil Billy. Tazzy toes with the jazzy toes and the random Steve and the everybody leaves. Holy Ghost coming back around, baby girl, gotta hear the sound, go kick him up. Thank Craig Watson, 60 and the chanty, hey, red or blue pill, got that go to all. Random Steve, 5 see you, oh, best 777, see you, just go see it, just go see it, oh, oh, oh. Sunny Ray and bring it on. Bring it with that papa pie. Gotta get more cowbell. Gotta bring it back like Captain Chow. Fix her up or fix her up. It doesn't really matter, cause we get lucky. Lucky like that Sandra Lee. Bring it right back down like one knee. One knee down and bring it down. We got that hella love now. On my YouTube piece, say, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up. On my D-Live piece, say, what's up, what's up, what's up. D-Live, D-Live. On my YouTube piece, I know wicked, wicked, wicked. With that windy, windy, oh no, Holy Ghost and fire, fire, fire.
Let's twist it out.
I'm trying to find it. They love the Marfoogle. But they just can't see.
Forces of arrest and now. Gotta bring them back with Dragon Garlic and Elisa Curry. Texas patriotic cow food now. Gonna bring it. Uber 77 and then gonna go.
Sing it, sing it. morning after the chest was already open. I just like echo. That's still not it. But they just can't see. Make a happy song when the corona gets hard. Oh, there it is. There it is. Oh. Oh, there it is. I love. There it is. Oh. We've got the Minnesota man. We've got the place and we go with that. We've got the Capuchow hippie cheer. We've got the Southern Mercy and the rest. Rick's are upper bad Tyler. We've got that lags. We gonna bring it back now, baby girl and sad.
Let's see if this works. See if this works. See if this works. Let dig a dig. Hey, boom. Psst. Works. Let. You ha 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 Susan done you ha 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 Susan done you ha ha ha. Susan done you ha ha ha.
Everybody really wanna get that live T-shirt and that one that she got to go and bring it with the Alicia. Oh, I've got to bring it. Oh, I've got to bring it. I just so bring it now. I said I love you, Holy Ghost and fire when I'm free. I said ha 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 ha. It's Nina and Mr. Dina. I thank you for being here on my head every night. And now I didn't finish even be as bad, Tyler, and at night. Hey, don't we? You only need that one more mom and bring it. You got to bring it. Yes, the upper bring it. See, I just gotta bring it. I'm gonna bring it, let you bring it right up back in now.